While we're all feeling the effects of recent events, namely the little R word, recession, I want to give you some insider tips and knowledge about how you can be hitting $10,000 months despite everyone telling you that everything is turning to poop. While it seems like a lot of your friends, peers, mentors are struggling to keep their sales up, I've actually had a lot of months lately that have been my best months ever in business. So here's what I'm doing differently to make sure that I am consistently hitting $20,000 a month on average in my coaching practice and over $20,000 a month, closer to $30,000, $40,000 a month in my shop. Hello, welcome back or welcome. I'm Christina Scalera, and I talk all about different passive income strategies here on this channel, namely through selling the own knowledge that's in your brain as a digital product. That's why I founded the term called D-commerce, as in digital commerce. That way you can sell the knowledge that you have in the form of digital products and make money from that on a regular basis, hopefully as passively as possible. That's the entire foundation of how I've built my online presence and store. And recently I've turned it back around, paying for this channel out of my own pocket to make these videos for you. So in light of that and the lack of sponsors that we have here on this video, it would mean the world to me if you would just subscribe and hit the like button. And if you want to reserve that until the end, I totally understand. Just make sure you don't forget. All right, so here are some things that I am doing differently in this different economy that we're facing. And I know it's been a really rough 2, now going on to 3 years for anyone who runs their own business. Not only are your reserves drying up with inflation increasing and potentially less clients because they're getting spooked by a recession, these are all the low-hanging fruit that most people will want to go for and use to scare you into buying their services or products right now, or maybe just clickbaiting you into watching their YouTube videos. Hi, sorry, but I promise now that you're here to take really good care of you and show you what's been going on behind the scenes that's different for me, especially in my coaching business. The first thing that we've done differently this year is we've implemented really affordable extended payment plans. And payment plans aren't anything new that you haven't seen yet, but there's 2 ways that I'm doing this that make sure that I get paid and the customer has a more accessible way to pay me. The first thing that I did was check what kind of payment plans were already available with my payment processors. So for example, on Shopify, there's a tool called Sezzle that's a third-party integration, or you can just use the native Shop Pay installments. Both of these tools are free to use. They just take a higher fee out of the purchase price of whatever it is that you're selling. So for example, if you have an online course that costs $1,000 and normally your regular PayPal, Stripe, etc. takes about 3%. These services are going to take closer to 8 or 9%. And you're like, that's a bad deal. Why would I do that? Well, these services actually split that payment for someone up into 4 parts. So that person gets the ability to pay on an extended payment plan where they don't have to pay $1,000 today. They pay $250 every month or something. And you actually get the funds up front. So this functions differently than a payment plan you have to implement yourself. And because there's a lot less that you have to do and more that they have to do to make sure that this payment plan is functioning correctly, aka your customers are actually paying what they said they would, because they're absorbing that risk, it's just a little bit of a higher percentage. Now, if you don't want to offer that because it's not available to you based on who you use as your payment processor, or it's just not something you're interested in, you can implement your own extended payment plans. And here's what I've found works the best over about 7 or 8 years of implementing these kinds of plans in various businesses I've had. So the first thing that I always do with a payment plan is make sure that whatever the amount is that they're going to be paying on a regular basis is affordable in some way to the population that I'm trying to target with that kind of offer, whether it's coaching or courses or a template or whatever. So make sure that their regular payment is something that fits in line with where they're at. If they're more of a beginner in business, then they're not going to be able to stomach $1,000 a month usually. If they're more advanced in business, maybe $1,000 is nothing to them and they're happy to pay that. So just make sure that whatever the payment plan is, it's in line with the target demographic or group that you're trying to target with the sale of that product. Sometimes this means that I institute a larger payment up front to make the later payments more palatable. And this also helps because people are not likely to default on the first, second, or third payment. It's the ones after that that they might not make as their interest and excitement about the purchase fades. Now, with that being said, I realized over the years that one of the best ways for me to implement a payment plan is to make sure that it's collecting on the customer's outstanding payments every other week instead of every month. This is great because it actually speeds things up for us administratively on my team. That way, people aren't paying for a whole year and losing interest that whole time and just becoming resentful about the payments they might be making. They're actually making the payments while they're still in the program or still getting coaching from me, and that makes it more likely that they're there to engage and show up and interact with the other people in those programs. And so it's kind of a win-win for everybody. Plus, it does give them that week or so of time that they might want or need for whatever reason, for their planning purposes or for budgeting or whatever, to make sure that they are saving up enough money until the next cycle of the payment hits. Payment plans are a great option to make your services, your offers, your courses, etc., more accessible to more people. But do keep in mind that if you have any kind of financing, aka like your payment plan, just when you add it all up, it costs a little bit more than just the one-time pay. Please keep that reasonable. I mean, people are really struggling. And also, if it is excessive, it may not be legal. There are certain places in the country and the world where it's not legal to charge over a certain percentage. Like, I don't know what the percent is, and it's going to vary by your area. But a payment plan that would essentially be like a 50% interest rate is not going to fly, and you could get in big trouble for that. So that's another reason just to keep payment plans reasonable. And just remember that a payment plan is always going to be more work on your end administratively, not just to set up, but also to make sure that all the payments are made on time by your customers. And if they're not, that you're sending them to collections or whatever the appropriate remedy is. So that's why there is usually some kind of upcharge for a payment plan versus allowing someone to pay in full just one time. Next up, something else I've done in the past. I haven't done it this cycle, but we had kind of a little bit of a dip previously in my career. And one thing I did successfully then was pulled things out of a larger program I had and made sure that that was a little bit more accessible in terms of price point. It was cheaper, and also in terms of what it was teaching. So it wasn't the whole system that everyone needed to get from A to Z, but it was a big part of that system, namely the part that everybody really, really wanted. And then if they wanted to upgrade to the whole system later, we also made that available. Keep in mind that you don't have to sell exactly what you're selling today. You could pivot and pull things out. One of my clients actually did this recently. She had a huge course and she pulled all the modules out, and now she sells them individually in her shop as mini courses. And so this is not just effective for helping people buy more from her because now they can afford a $200 mini course versus a $1,000 big course. But it's also helpful because she's able to see what people are most interested in because they're essentially voting with their money. So she can continue to create more content and products around the most successful mini course that she has. And don't forget to upsell them into that larger product. I can't emphasize this enough. If someone has already said yes to you and voted on you with their money, then make sure that you are always offering them the next best thing. Not only should it be helpful to them and you should be excited and interested in telling them about that next thing, but it should also be available so that you can continue to expand and grow your business by increasing what's called their customer lifetime value. That's basically when one person just spends more and more and more with you because they know, like, and trust you, and presumably love you if they keep buying thing after thing from you. The next thing is kind of ironic given the tone of this channel, but one-on-one services are really popular right now. And I think it's because so many people have swung in the direction of everything's automated, everything's outsourced. All of my coaching programs have me as like the face on the banner, but none of the coaching's actually by me. People are kind of over that and they're ready to be investing back in personal brands and personal people, so long as that experience stays personal. And I've experienced this myself in my coaching business just by offering one-on-one services again, which I haven't done in years. And truthfully, there's a bigger reason why I'll tell you why I'm offering one-on-one again. Can't tell you yet, but I want to tell you soon. But that filled up really, really fast. So do make sure that you're following me at Christina Scalera on Instagram. If you are interested in a spot like that, you can just DM me and let me know, and we can have a conversation about it. I'll put you on a wait list. But anyway, my coaching has filled up so fast, and it's been the easiest thing to sell in the last few months because people are craving access and attention from one particular person on their business or on their particular problem. So many people have gotten burned by crappy courses and programs that just throw them into a mess and tell them, oh, you're not consuming enough of this. That must be why things aren't going right for you. And it's like, I'm in your weight loss course so that I can get coaching from you. You know, it's called Christina's weight loss course or whatever, you know, and people aren't getting that kind of individualized attention that they thought they were signing up for. So people are feeling really burnt out, jaded, etc. from these types of programs, and they're looking to go right to the source again, especially during any kind of recession where things are a little in flux and not in a good way. People are feeling anxious. This is a great time for you to start offering done for you or one-on-one services, and the added benefit is that the more experience you have offering any kind of service that you have, the easier it is to turn those services back into digital products that sell even better than they did before, because you are better informed about your customers and clients and the types of choices that they are going to make, as well as the kind of results that they're currently looking for. So this is a great way to just kind of like refresh all of your digital products, but also to make some extra income, just in case you want to have extra cash on hand going into what is a very, very weird financial situation over the next year. I can promise you it's going to be weird. I don't know if it's going to be bad. I don't know if it's going to be good. There's definitely going to be some winners and losers. The more buffer you can have with the more clients and services and money that you have coming in the door, the better off you're going to be no matter what happens, no matter how weird it gets or how not weird it is by the end of 2023. I think the moral of today's video is that you just shouldn't keep doing what you've been doing if it's not getting you the results that you want. Putting some Facebook ads on a product that's not selling well, or trying to outsource all of your coaching to assistant coaches instead of doing it yourself. Like, those are things that are not going to be working as well in 2023, and especially if we go into a true recession. So just keep this in mind and be open to different possibilities as to how you can continue to make money and work for yourself over this coming year. One of the best tips I can give you is not to look so much at the macro stuff and what everyone else is saying is going to happen to the economy, but look inside your business and look at what's working and what's not, and be really honest with yourself. I know that we're all going to have some darlings that we have to kill, and that just means, you know, there's some projects that you really thought would work or some products you really thought would sell, and you're going to have to put those on the back burner for now so that you can focus on the ones that you actually know are going to sell. So if you do that, if you can be introspective instead of, I guess, outrospective, then you're going to find that you're a lot more successful at hitting those $10,000 months, even if a recession is on the horizon. Oh, and ironically, one other source of income that I've been able to add to my life this year is YouTube AdSense. That was something I didn't see coming. I was really hoping that I would hit 1,000 subscribers this year, and now it's looking like I might even hit 10,000 before the year is over. So if you're curious about how I did that, how I blew up, how everything changed for me in less than a week, really, after posting every single week for a year and a half and not really seeing any kind of traction at all, then you'll want to watch the video I just did about the first 3 months that I've been here on YouTube and monetized. If that's interesting at all to you, I would also love to know in the comments what you think about me being monetized on YouTube, if that's something you're working towards yourself, or how else you plan to add any kind of income streams to your life this year or in the next few months, and what you think might happen in this weird financial time. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a like, make sure you're subscribed, and go watch that video. It's a really cool story about how I got monetized and how everything changed for me. I think you're really gonna like that video, or at least I hope you do, because it's a little bit of a departure from what I usually talk about on this channel, but I know you guys love the behind the scenes stuff, so hopefully that's something really fun for you. Go check it out. I'll see you next time.